How do you feel about the sun? Do you feel some sort of attachment to it? Silly question, right? But seriously, do you feel some sort of attachment in the sense that without it, you feel miserable or sad if a day or two goes by without it? Or do you feel some sort of endearment towards the sun when you tilt your head back to feel the warmth of the sun on your face? Are you thankful for its warmth? Are you thankful that on a warm sunny day you can see the beautiful bright colors of all the wildflowers in the lush green field in the countryside somewhere? You see, without the sun shining on us, we wouldn't be able to enjoy seeing the vibrant colors displayed around us. We would be in total darkness without the sun because even the moon shines on us due to the light it's receiving from the sun, which then reflects upon us so that we can see where we're going at night. But what of the many splendors we see around us, such as the plant growth, the development of certain insects in the wild that depend on sunlight, the indication of time we need as we move on in life, the many mathematical equations or concepts we've interpreted due to this Earth's rotation around the sun, have helped us understand the Earth's role in all this, how important Earth's rotation around the sun is, and how that affects human evolution and such that we depend on it for our evolutionary growth. What I mean by that is our evolutionary growth is dependent upon the number of times the Earth rotates on its axis around the sun. Our day-to-day life is based on the number of hours we have in a day. If we had more, what kind of life would we live? Would we do more? Would we have been further ahead in technological advancements? Would we be experiencing a different kind of life right now? Would we be living in huts because we had decided that it wasn't healthy for us to live in cement homes due to the number of hours or long hours we would spend indoors? Or would we be spending more time outdoors because we felt being indoors that long wasn't healthy for us? What would life be like now if we had longer days? Would you be okay with that? Would our life be shorter because our biological body wouldn't support that? Or would we eventually become accustomed to it and our life would be extended for whatever reason? Think about it. Our whole existence is dependent upon the sun. Our life revolves around the sun, not the other way around. So for those who have a feeling of endearment or attachment towards the sun, we have a very good reason to be. We very much depend on the existence of the sun in our day-to-day life. But what is this video about? Well, I'll get into that in just a moment. First, I wanted to welcome you to this channel, Metaphysical Awakening, and thank you for stopping by. I know life is hectic and there's so much to do and think about, so I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch our videos. I say our because I work alongside my mom, Hitomi, who also does consultations with me. I do most of the video making while she does most of the jewelry making, which we plan to put up on our website, metaphysicalawakening.com, for you to see in the near future. So, but she works with many stones and crystals to create a uniquely designed set of jewelry for those who are interested in wearing stone necklaces, bracelets, and who knows what else in the future, because she's constantly experimenting with new designs. She herself has a large collection of stones. But if you yourself love collecting stones, have a peek at our stone energy page, which lists the metaphysical properties of many different stones. And perhaps you'll find a connection between the metaphysical properties of the stones you carry and your personality traits. Who knows? You may be surprised by what you find there. And for those who have never experienced what a spiritual consultation is like, have a look at our spiritual consultation page and see the services we provide there, along with our free energy work. Perhaps you have questions about your life and you like to be aware of something going on around you energetically or spiritually, or simply want to confirm something that you felt strongly about and would just like someone to look at it from an outside perspective. We'd be happy to do so. In the meantime, feel free to browse through our website and contact us if you have any questions. We'd be happy to help. We hope that your day is going wonderfully well and that you find something to smile about. Your smile may make another smile, therefore, causing a chain reaction. We all need something to smile about these days. Now, moving on to the topic of the sun. So where am I going from here? Well, what I really wanted to get into is the importance of it in our life, no matter where you are in the world. We need light, right? Without it, it would get pretty dark around here, basically, and we wouldn't be able to enjoy the splendors of the earth in the same way. So what is so metaphysical about the sun? Well, this is where it gets interesting. Remember, when I go into each topic metaphysically, I'm feeling into it using my heart energy field, or chakra, some may call it. I'm seeing it with my pineal energy somewhat, and feeling it with using intuition. But it's my heart that does much of the work, truthfully. It's my heart that picks up not only emotions, which is a kind of information too, but other things too, such as intentions or frequencies behind those intentions. So all goes on when feeling into many different things. Then my mind picks up those thoughts or information and process them with my heart, in turn perhaps creating a solution to a problem or a creation of something such as an idea or a resolution, or simply an explanation for what's happening. Whatever it is, it can simply be picked up by the mind and heart. Now, getting back to the topic of the sun from a metaphysical perspective, I want to start with the value of its energy, not only on our physical body, but spiritual or energetic body as well. When I'm saying spiritual or energetic body, for those who are new to this channel, I'm referring to you, your true selves. Because we're more than the bodies we live in or have for the time being in this lifespan. I'm not referring to anything else other than that, so we'll just keep it simple for now. But yes, we live in these bodies temporarily until it's time to go home back to our original state being our energetic or spiritual body. So the sun, as physical as it is, does put out frequencies or energy that has an effect on our energy, so to speak. I'm saying this for now because it's a little more complicated than that, but we'll stick to the basics to not create confusion. But anyways, as we stand in the sunlight, we bathe in its warmth and energy given off by its frequencies. But what are those frequencies? Well, with further ado, I'll go into those different frequencies. And please keep in mind that the information I'm about to share is given from my own perspective when observing the energy from the sun and its impact on every living thing. So let's start off with the frequency that gives off the warmth you feel in and all around you. This warmth not only encourages your skin cells to photosynthesize this energy like plants, but for a different reason. I feel that the energy is converted so that the body produces what it needs to jumpstart your immune system, so to speak. What I'm saying is that in order for your body to create a barrier from the day-to-day bacteria and certain germs and so forth, the body needs to synthesize what is needed from the sun's rays or energy. The rays from the sun acts as an energy source for the human body. It's what regulates its biological clock, so to speak. In order for your body to regulate itself, it uses the sun's rays or energy frequencies to do its work. The work refers to the biological clock. Now, when you step outside first thing in the morning, how do you feel? More vibrant, more exhilarated, or burnt out, exhausted, loss of energy? You see, the sun doesn't decrease our energy level, no. In fact, it enlivens them. And I'm referring to your energy frequencies. It's what puts you in a better mood. It's what works on your energy frequencies to create a physical effect on your body. Imagine when you stand outside in the sun with your face tilted towards it. How do you feel? Good? Better? Perhaps energized, especially on a cold day? You see, the energy you feel as warmth creates a physical manifestation on the body. Your body reacts to its warmth. Okay, well, now let's move on to another frequency given off by the sun. The other frequency I would like to discuss is comfort. Yes, the comfort you feel is like what a baby feels in their mother's womb. That comfort you feel is like how you feel around a campfire among your friends and family. That comfort you feel when sitting in front of a fireplace on a cold, snowy night. Yes, that comfort you feel when you're surrounded by your loved ones. You see, the frequency of comfort is given off by the sun's rays and released to you so that you can feel that sense of comfort. Not only that, but that sense of comfort is in a way fatherly. You see, there are male or masculine frequencies given off by the sun. No wonder why in many cultures the sun was seen as the father, and in many, the earth is seen as the mother. You see, they're not wrong in most cases. Our bodies are made from the organic materials produced on earth, and the body maintains its rhythm or biological clock due to the sun's energy as it comforts us and regulates our immune system so that our bodies can be protected from certain bacteria and germs and viruses, well, at least be strong enough to fight viruses. Not all bacteria and germs are bad for us, of course. We need some of them to keep us alive. But anyways, it's no wonder that these cultures call the sun father and the earth mother. Now, this leads us to another frequency, which is paternal. Now, what do I mean by paternal, first of all? Okay, well, let me define what I feel from paternal frequencies. You see, paternal frequencies not only mean fatherly to me, but it also gives me a sense of protection and strength. I also feel husbandry in regards to protecting and loving the spouse, and fatherly when protecting and guiding their children. Now, in regards to paternal frequencies from the sun, I sense that the sun's rays give off this feeling or sensation of not only protection in regards to the activation of humans' immunization process, but also in giving strength to us mentally, physically, and spiritually or energetically. Without it, we seem to get sluggish, sad, perhaps depressed for some, physically unmotivated to do something fun. Our attitude changes. Our physical habits seem to get affected, and so much that we just don't feel like doing this or that. There's this loss of the animation in us, in a way, ambition too. We feel psychologically dejected in a way. We don't see ourselves in the same way in the mirror, which is a wonder, because how do you feel about yourself on a sunny day versus a rainy, cloudy day? You see, the weather has a huge impact on our personality in a way. Something to think about in areas that receive the greatest amount of rainfall. We always get the impression that the people there are sad and depressed, not really animated. Interestingly enough, they tend to be the hardest working people there because they don't have much else to do due to the climate conditions, and are least likely to carry on hobbies. The ambition or motivation for doing something fun on a continual basis is least likely to happen due to their state of mood. But work is different. It must be done whether in rain, wind, sleet, or snow. The show must go on. So how do you feel when you visit places like the Caribbean islands or any of the Pacific islands versus places like the northern part of Spain, France, the UK, or Russia, for example? I'm sure you already have those places pictured in your mind. Well, anyway, the sun gives off this paternal-like frequency to give us the feeling of being protected in a way by strengthening our immunity on a daily basis. It's a form of protection to our body and others too, not only us, but plants and animals too. It works on our immune system, and for plants, providing them food through photosynthesis. Our body conducts photosynthesis in a way as a reaction to the sun's energy. We just use it differently is all. One additional thing I want to mention related to paternal-like frequency in terms of guidance, the sun has a a way of directing our thought to a more reasonable justification. And what I mean by that is that the sun helps justify our reason for living and expanding our knowledge while in physical body. Throughout many different civilizations and ancient civilizations, especially when it comes to the indigenous population in many parts of the earth, there was such reverence for the sun. What they had learned was that the sun equated with life. Without it, nothing could grow or survive. They knew the importance of it in their day-to-day life. So they showed much reverence when it came to their rituals, celebrations, and so on. What they also understood was the importance of the sun on their spiritual development. The sun represented some kind of holiness, is the best way I could put it, I suppose. It was as if they believed the sun blessed them with spiritual knowledge. And in a way it did, in the sense that it activated something from within them to start their awakening process. Of course, this takes place at different stages in life for each person. We don't all wake up at the same age or the same time period. We wake up at different times, depending on the person's situation. But I thought this would be interesting to mention. Now, moving on to another frequency, which I will call it stabilization frequency. I don't know what else to call it, but there's an energy frequency that gives you the impression of stabilization. What do I mean by that? Well, when we feel something off in a room or space, that could be from a signal reverberating throughout the room, or from a misplacement of certain stones that may conflict with each other, or from people's own energy or vibe. It could be many things. But let's say you put something in there that gives off stabilization frequencies. You know, frequencies that can put your vibe in a stabilized state, so to speak. A state which you maintain your stability, but other factors around you that cause instability have no effect on you. You see, this is what the sun does. Look around us. We have so many individuals who can cause us to be unstable. There are many conflicting energy frequencies bouncing off each other in a chaotic state. We see many things giving off electrical signals or impulses, whether they're from satellites, radio towers, mobile phones, appliances used in your home, electrical devices, and so on. The list can go on and on. And with many of these things going on, we could only assume they'll cause static or chaotic condition among us. Harmony is out of question in most places because of the amount of energy output by man-made inventions or devices in those places. Fortunately, we have the sun's frequencies to help guide us in a way. They keep us from losing our minds, so to speak. They keep us from bouncing around from one state to another at a faster rate by keeping our energy surrounded by a field that allows us to transition at a slower state. Our minds need time to think things through before we transition to another state or consciousness. We need to understand the reasoning behind it and how it can benefit us. You see, the sun is protecting us in this way too, by allowing us to transition or evolve at a natural state. Now, what of those who live in colder climates where they receive shorter daylight hours and longer nights? Well, in that case, life tends to be more complicated. It goes against their biological rhythm where it needs longer daylight hours in order for the body to do the necessary day-to-day processes, and for the energetic body to receive those frequencies in order to lighten the mood, work on the body, and in some way to have a spiritual enlightening. Well, what does that mean? Well, I believe that the energetic body itself needs certain frequencies to maintain spiritual health, such as spiritual healing frequencies that we can receive just by sitting next to a tree, plant, spending time in nature, sitting down with a friend or family member, having a nice conversation, going to a Reiki healer, doing yoga, and so on. The list goes on. We also maintain our spiritual health by visiting a friend or family, anyone who needs your help for whatever reason. You see, human contact also means spiritual contact. One other thing I want to mention about spiritual enlightening is that it's not only it not only broadens our perspectives on life, but it enriches our day-to-day life. So think of it this way. You may do something that enriches your life, such as winning a tournament of some kind, or graduating from a university, or taking on a promotion you worked so hard for. But spiritual enlightening is something deeper. It's in your soul, so to speak. It's what you feel in your core. That experience you feel within your core is lasting, and it has a lasting impact on your mind, spirit, and body. It's not a one-day event or even a 2 or 3 day event. It stays with you forever. No, that's a long time. That promotion, that graduation, that tournament will become part of the long list of achievements you've made in your life. But spiritual enlightening is something more memorable. It won't be a bullet point in your list of achievements. It's something different and internal, and most often life-changing. So try it out and see what kind of life you end up having. So, okay, we were discussing the stabilization frequencies. Well, now let's move on to another frequency given off by the sun's physical body. This frequency has a way of making us feel oriented, and, well, oriented for the most part, and disoriented at times. And what I mean by that is there are times when you wake up feeling lost. Have you ever experienced a morning in which you woke up feeling or thinking, where am I? Or have forgotten that you were at a friend's house, sleeping over on a sofa, and you woke up disoriented for a moment? It happens now and again for some, and maybe just a few times in a lifetime for others. We all experience different things for different reasons, and we all have different lifestyles. For some, it boils down to the kind of body we're put in. But anyways, the sun puts us in the right frame of mind. It could be used as a point of reference when traveling, as well as helping us realize where we are. For those who wake up feeling a bit discombobulated, well, perhaps you had a dream where you were traveling somewhere with a friend or family member, and you woke up feeling, man, I thought it was real. So see how someone would, how that would confuse someone? Sometimes our dreams seem so real that it's hard to distinguish what's real or not for some. But as you wake up, your mind starts to remember where you are, and you would adjust to that thought. The sun helps us adjust in some way too. You wake up to the morning sun, and it orientates your train of thought, so to speak. Now, if you were to live in a cold, cloudy region, your body wouldn't work in the same way as it would in a sunny region. It just wouldn't. Many travel south for the winter just for the same reason. Our mood tends to brighten when we're in a sunny region, and our body climatizes to the warm temperature. We prefer warm, sunny climates. But there are a few individuals, and I mentioned few because there are only a few that I've met that I know of, who prefer cold, rainy type of climate. And this is rare because many do suffer from seasonal depression during the cold season. But what of those who travel to warmer climates? What are they looking for? Simply to bask in the sun? No, of course not. They're looking to enjoy the beautiful nature and whatever entertainment there is to offer. But two, the warmth and the light from the bright sun, just the thought of it makes anyone feel good during a cold, dreary day. As for the ones who prefer rainy days, perhaps they tend to be melancholic, and in that the rain offers them that sensation which they prefer. It's as if the sensation makes them feel comforted and soothed due to the frequencies given off by the rain. You see, rain can be quite refreshing and soothing, but days and days and days of rain can get bothersome, and for some, unbearable. The cloud-covered sky gives the impression of no change, so to speak. That feeling that things will remain the same and there will not be a bright, new, exciting day, which then in turn gives us a depressing feeling. Once the sun comes out, we walk out and feel alive with the hope of a bright new day before us, which isn't a typical feeling that occurs on a rainy day. But perhaps for some, a bright sunny day feels more like a feeling of work, which isn't something they favor. Perhaps a more dream-like state is what they prefer than a physical state or a physical type of state. I mean, Perhaps the person prefers to stay at home next to a fireplace on a cold, rainy day, reading a book or putting together a puzzle, rather than going out on a sunny day doing some sort of activity. Some of us prefer activities that are more in our head than our physical bodies, so to speak. But who knows, we're all different, right? So another thing I want to mention in regards to the frequencies given off by the sun, I feel that this frequency has this ability to smooth out or straighten out our frequencies. And what I mean by that is that it has the ability to smooth out our most chaotic sets of frequencies. Imagine on a bad day you wake up feeling disturbed, perhaps by a dream you woke up to. Have you ever experienced such a morning? It's not a good feeling, right? It wrecks your whole mood. You're left feeling quite perturbed the rest of the day until you do something that can brighten you up or distract you. But if you take the time to stand by the window or sit outside on a park bench or wherever you can to bask in the sun for a little while, the frequencies of the sun can help straighten out those emotional frequencies that get tangled up at times and cause a disturbance in your day, leaving you feeling unhappy or agitated. You see, our frequencies can be wild or static at times and produces what we may call static electricity. You see, our frequencies, at least from how I see them, carry layers and layers of frequencies that may get bundled up at times. And some may call them blockages, you see. So for those who do energy work on you, may go in there to detangle those knots they see and smooth them out so that you flow better and feel more released. Your muscles may even loosen up too. So that's what I'm referring to when I mention static electricity. In many videos, I've referred to us being energy beings or spirits living in body. Now, as we are in a body, we may produce an outcome that causes our own energy frequencies to become erratic or tangled up, so to speak. Now, when this happens, you may receive help from spirits around you who may, let's say, reorganize our frequencies and put them back in a normal state. And as that happens, it can be quite disorienting in a way that leaves you feeling confused for a moment at times, maybe thinking, where am I? What did I just feel? Because you're trying to figure out what the heck just happened, or disconcerted at times, feeling odd and out of place. That happens once in a while at certain points in our life for whatever reason. But when it does, it's a bit strange. But then you move on, not thinking about it again. But yeah, at times our frequencies get a little tangled up. So when this happens, stepping outside helps in a way, because the energy frequencies from the sun will help settle you back in. It'll make you feel more like yourself and move on with your day. So this frequency places your own frequencies that have become erratic to a calmer state, and by smoothing them out. You couldn't ask for better help in that regard, because the sun's energy is very, very powerful. And yes, I mentioned static electricity, right? When I was talking about our frequencies getting tangled up. Well, our energy is electric. We rely on it for our well-being and the survival of the planet. Without it, where would we be then? It's in and all around us. It's what keeps us going. It's what gets our brain to work and continue functioning. Without it, the brain shuts down. So the electricity is coming from somewhere, right? Well, that's something to think about. Now, well, let's move on to another set of frequencies. Remember, we've discussed the frequencies such as the stabilization-like frequencies, from the warmth, fatherly stabilization or fatherly frequencies, from the rays given off by the sun, and the protection-like frequencies also given off by the rays from the sun. We also mentioned frequencies that smooth out our own frequencies when they become erratic. Now we'll talk about It's sunny-like disposition. And what I mean by that is that the sun has a way of putting us in a better disposition. Our mood, as I mentioned before, oftentimes we're bogged down by the world around us, whether that's stress coming from work, family or friends. Problems can come up, from all different directions. However, the sun has a way of improving our mood. Imagine stepping outside in the rain and feeling the raindrops fall on your head as you go for a walk. You tend to think how gray and miserable it is. Yet for some it may be refreshing depending on the person's, depending on the person and their mood. However, as soon as the sun comes out, people are out and about enjoying the nice weather because we equate nice weather with the sun shining, not with the rain clouds, right? So our disposition changes as we're out and about. So the last thing I wanted to mention is how we are overwhelmingly affected by weather. When we go out, we tend to see people smiling and enjoying themselves on a sunny day as opposed to a rainy day. Why is that? Is it because a rainy day is meant to make us depressed or sad? No, I don't believe so. A bit of rain is good for everyone, including trees, plants, and animals. It has a way of relieving us from heat during a hot summer day, and a way of calming our mind down when needed. Sometimes the hustle and bustle of life in a city can be a bit too much for us, and we need to slow down. Rain has a way of slowing us down and staying indoor, which is good for us sometimes. Sometimes staying indoors, staying home can do wonders for our mind simply by calming it down and switching it off from work. Our life is so busy and stressful at times that a bit of rain is necessary to give us time to ourselves, or to be with friends and family indoor, to chat and enjoy each other's company. But what of the sun when the sun comes out? Well, it enlivens our sense of humor, our mood, and our desire to do sport. Have a picnic. It keeps us active and alive and our minds healthy. So why not enjoy the outdoors and take your time feeling into the nature around you and feel how the sun enlivens every tree, plant, and creature nearby. You might be surprised by what you find. Well, thank you so much for stopping by our channel, and we both hope you enjoy the Christmas holiday, since that's very much around the corner, with your friends and family. This is the time of year we can come together to celebrate the end of the year and share our love and deep connection with each other. So we hope you have a beautiful time, and we wish you a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to those who may not celebrate Christmas. But all the same, we wish you a beautiful time together and enjoy some hot chocolate. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you again in the new year with some interesting videos. We look forward to it. Happy holidays, everyone, and much love for the Metaphysical Awakening. Bye.